Hey friends, welcome back to She's At It Again. My name's Tanya, and I want to share with you a recipe today for something you might have tried at a very popular chain restaurant. And I ordered it the first time I ever went to this restaurant years and years ago, probably, I don't know, 30 years ago. And every time I went, I said, I'm going to try something new this time. Guess what? I didn't. I kept ordering the same thing. It's just that good. This is so good. So these are things that you might or might not have already in your pantry or your refrigerator. If not, look at the recipe in the description, get your list of items, go to the store and get it. I'm telling you, I can't describe how good it is and how rapidly you should go get your ingredients to make this. It's so good. Now, if you want to double the recipe, that's fine. Use more chicken. This recipe, the original that I did years ago, I was just kind of making up things as I went, thinking I will make it taste like this, and it does. But I started with 4 chicken breasts. Now I use 2 chicken breasts and cut them in half this way like a pancake, and I'll show you how to do that in the video. But you know what? The toppings are just so good. The chicken's really not the star of the show. It's all the other stuff, the bacon, the cheese, the mushrooms. It's so good. So I encourage you to try this and at least watch the video. See if it doesn't whet your appetite. So get ready. It's going to be good. All right. First thing we're going to do is take our package of chicken. I'm going to hold this up. I don't want it dripping on anything. But this is our package of chicken. Cut this open. Rinse it off just a tad. Not a lot though. We are going to slice these like a pancake. So I'm going to take my knife and run it across like this. These chicken breasts are actually pretty big. Normally organic chicken breasts aren't quite as hefty as those conventional ones, especially the ones they sell in those big giant packages. Those chicken breasts are like massive. They're like turkey breast or something. They're so huge, but these are just average size. So, whoops. I'm going to wash my hands because I'm going to layer this with seasoned salt. We're going to sprinkle these with seasoned salt and let them chill while I'm getting my other stuff ready. Now this actually goes together relatively quick. I don't want it to look more complicated than what it is. Here's my jar of seasoned salt. This is a proprietary mix that I make, so it's not like I'm hiding the label or anything, because there is no label. It's just in a jar. I make it myself. All right, I'm gonna hold on to the top of this spoon, just sprinkle a little bit in the bottom. Put the chicken breast in. Notice I'm not cross-contaminating anything. I'm not getting any of that chicken juice on anything. My seasoned salt is rather strong, so I'm not putting a lot of it on there, but you could use any brand of seasoned salt that is your favorite. It would probably be advantageous to you and anybody else who's eating it to use something without monosodium glutamate. That is not anything valuable nutritionally. It's just a flavor enhancer. And what that means is it's for marketing purposes only. It's to make you want some more. And it is not a preservative. Do not misunderstand. MSG is not a preservative. It is just a flavor enhancer, but it's been known to cause symptoms like headaches and things like that. It's just not something you need to eat. So I'll just leave it at that. All right, I'm going to cut any little tiny pieces of fat off the edge of this. It's not imperative though. You're going to have bacon in it. It's not like you're not going to have any fat in it. All right, again, take this chicken breast, kind of push it down a little bit with your hand to make sure that it's even and it's not going to slide around. But try to make sure that the bottom half and the top half are about even as far as thickness. All right, another chicken breast. Put my seasoned salt in there. Trying to make sure you can still see this. Not like nobody knows how to sprinkle seasoned salt on something. and the last one. So I'm going to put these in the fridge now to chill or to stay chilled while I get my other ingredients ready. I'll get my skillet out. We're going to cook these part of the way today, but today is Friday. I'm not going to be serving these until Sunday, or this dish until Sunday. So this will be baked off at the last minute right before our lunch guests get here. But we'll be back in just a minute and we'll finish up our process over there. We're back on the other side of the kitchen now. All right, next thing we want to do is take and get 2 cups of shredded Colby Jack. So this is the 1 pound package. I'm simply going to cut this in half and shred that. I'm not big on measuring in a cup because 2 cups just doesn't look like 2 cups. No matter what cheese you use, it all has a different look to it. So I just know that 8 ounces is 2 cups. So half of this is what we need. I'm apparently quite good at cutting things in half, so my new talent. All right, we don't need that anymore. Let's get this shredded and we'll just set it aside. If you've ever been to Outback, I may have said this earlier, if you've ever been to Outback restaurant and ordered the Alice Springs chicken, that is what this tastes like. And when we used to go to Outback, I think the first time I ever went to Outback, I ordered Alice Springs chicken because it just sounded good, and it was so good tasting. And every time I'd go back, I'd think, you know what, I'm going to order something different this time. Nope, never did. Ordered it every single time. It was just that good. But to have something homemade and you know what's in the ingredients and you know what you've done to it and what kind of chicken you have, it just does something to your psyche and lets you know it tastes better. And it's better for you, I'm sure. This is all going to be melted on the top, so don't worry about getting it perfect. If you don't have a grater, just cut it up with a knife. Cut it into slices or chunks or something. Zoe's watching me from down there. She thinks she needs a piece of cheese. This is a rather low carb dish. If you have someone who has issues with carb intake that really don't need any carbs, this is a good dish to make, and that's exactly why I'm making it this time. Have someone who's trying to watch their carb intake. That's going to be our guest. to have this, and I could have gone with chili or something like that, but I like beans in my chili, and that just kind of blows it right there. Blows the low carb factor. So we're going to do this. All right, we'll set this cheese aside. Next thing we're going to do is make up our honey mustard sauce. This is going to go on it, and we want 1/4 cup of yellow mustard, and that's exactly what we have. I'm just going to put this in a measuring cup. And then we want 1/3 cup of honey, and this is just my big jug of not raw, not organic honey, but it's real honey. So 1/3 cup. Of that. We want 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise, and even though the label says it's peanut butter, it's not. This is my homemade mayonnaise that I make. So 2 tablespoons of that. Just going to eyeball that. And last ingredient is 2 teaspoons of diced onion. Now, I sometimes use dehydrated onions, dried onions. But because I had this little container of onions that I had chopped the other day, I'm just going to use it. And that way nothing goes to waste. The dehydrated onions really help if you don't want it there to be a lot of juices and stuff in the bottom of your pan or too much liquid in it, but that's not going to be an issue in this today. So I am going to chop these up just a little bit finer than what they were in that container. I must have made something the other day and used part of an onion, but the onion was so big, I wound up putting some of it in a container, knowing good and well I'd use it in the next few days. And I used some yesterday, and now I'm using the rest of it today. So I don't like things going to waste, and that's a good way to use these up. And if they had been sitting in there long enough where I thought it was getting kind of iffy as to whether they were still good, I would have placed them in the freezer. And they would have gone into soup or something like that. I just think with the price of groceries right now, combined with the scarcity of groceries, it's just not good stewardship to waste anything if you can keep from it. All right, that's done. Oh, I guess I need my knife to rake this in here, don't I? This honey mustard sauce is fabulous. I think, honestly, if you put these ingredients right here in an immersion blender and blend it up smooth, it would make a fabulous dressing for just about anything, particularly chicken dishes, but I'm not convinced that it wouldn't just make a good salad dressing because it just smells and tastes that good. But I would use raw honey in it if I were making a salad dressing because you do get the benefits from that. All right, we're going to start layering our stuff in just a bit, but we're going to cook our chicken first. So we'll set that aside, put these up, and we'll get our skillet ready. All right, now we're over here by the stove, and we're going to get to cooking our chicken in this pan. I've got my skillet heating right now, and to give this even more flavor, we are using rendered bacon grease. Now this is when I cook bacon in the oven. I let the grease drip off of it. I save that, put it in a container, and this stays in my refrigerator. And I use it for all kinds of things. I normally fry an egg in it every morning, just a little bit of it. But I use uncured bacon, so this is safe, and this is preferred, and this is a healthier choice in cooking. So there's my jar. I'm just going to put a little blob of this in there, and it's going to melt pretty quickly. This is going to take the place of maybe using olive oil or something like that, which really shouldn't be used in high heat cooking, and this is higher heat cooking. I have my burner set on close to medium. But bacon grease can certainly withstand the heat. If you want to see an easier way to cook bacon, what I consider the easiest way to cook bacon, you can refer back to our video. I'll try to get my editor, aka my husband, to put that link in the description or somewhere on the screen. You'll find it. He'll have it pop up, and you can refer back to that video. All right, let's get our chicken out of the refrigerator. And we're going to sear these. These should not take long because they're so thin. If they were those thick chicken breasts, it would take a lot longer. An alternative method to this is to fry your bacon in the skillet if you don't have bacon cooked ahead of time. I have it cooked ahead of time because I always have it, well, normally have some in my lower oven. I have double ovens right here next to me. The lower oven normally doesn't get used that much, except for in the wintertime we have a lot of guests, we make pizzas. But I'll keep a pan of bacon in that bottom oven. I'll show you that to you in just a minute. But if you don't already have bacon cooked, then you can cook, let's see, 6 slices of bacon in your skillet if you want to do it that way. And you continue with this process with the grease that you have in there. These will be baked, so you don't necessarily have to cook them all the way through. That's not what you're looking for. You're not actually frying the chicken to cook it all the way through. You're just searing the outside of it. So that's about done. I'm going to turn that burner off and start taking these out. Y'all see me sopping up all that grease? That's how you know I'm really from the South. I've had lots of training with sopping up stuff. All right, get that in there. That fits pretty well. You don't want to overcrowd this, but it's not imperative that it, doesn't overlap or anything. It's just going to bake. All right, we'll go back over here and I'll show you what to layer on top of this. Okay, back over here at the island. I just started preheating my oven out in the sunroom. I still don't want to turn my house oven on just because the weather's a little bit warm. It's cool outside right now, but it'll get hot later on today and I'll think, why did I turn that oven on? It's making it hot in here, even though that's probably not what's making it hot in here. All right, so we just have our chicken that we've seared. Remember, all it has on is our seasoned salt, whatever salt you decide to use, seasoned salt, put that on there, sear it in your bacon grease, and we are going to slather our honey mustard dip on here. I've got my recipe on here, so I'm kind of referring back to it. I wrote it in my own words, so I have to decipher my own words now. We're going to spread our honey mustard sauce on it, And you don't necessarily have to use all the honey mustard sauce. I think I want to get my whisk and whisk that up a little bit better. If you reserve some, it's really nice to have it to just pour over the individual servings after it's baked, particularly because I'm baking this twice. I'm going to bake it today, and then I'll reheat it right before we have it on Sunday. So I don't want it to get dried out. So I might just reserve a tiny bit of it. All right, so I'm going to reserve, let's see how much is in there. About 1/3 cup. So that's a good amount. All right, next thing we want to put on is our mushrooms. This is our 1 cup of mushrooms that I chopped up. This is only 2, I think I chopped up 2 mushrooms. They were huge. These are beautiful organic mushrooms. Then our bacon, I'm just going to take and tear this up, not in little tiny pieces, but just enough to where it can kind of layer on it. Used to, I'd take them and kind of make an X with each piece, or, you know, something decorative like that. Don't nobody care. They're going to cut that up and eat it, and it's going to be so delicious. It does not matter what shape it's in. And my bacon cooked up so pretty. Then we're going to top this with our layer of cheese, and ooh, it's going to be so delicious. So 5 or 6 pieces of bacon. If you don't like bacon that much, I don't know who you are and where you came from. But if you don't like bacon that much, then just put a little bit of bacon on it. I personally love the bacon. All right, we're going to put our cheese on top of this. And I think what I might do is bake it off with part of the cheese and then reserve some of it to put on there after a while. When it comes out of the oven, it'll just kind of help cool it off. Because again, we're not having this until a few more days from now. Okay, gonna pop this in the oven. I'm just gonna bake it off today. Remember, we're not having this for 2 more days, so I'll let it cool off. Once I bake it, I'll put it in the fridge and bring it out and reheat it when we get ready to eat on Sunday at lunch when our guests arrive. So I will get some video of this when this comes out of the oven, so stay tuned, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay. Here is our finished product as far as cooking it ahead of time. Now I will again reheat it right before our guests arrive, and then we'll serve that extra sauce with it. But I just want to give you a close-up look at this. This smells really, really good. And I know it's moist because there's juices kind of running around in it. Ooh, nice. It smells good too. All right, we'll let this cool off, and we look forward to sharing something again with you soon. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day. Bye.